Call me Boo, you can call me whatever you want to. I'm your county mayor. I appreciate you showing up. I don't know the last time this fire hall has had this crowd in it, but I'm glad you're here. And whether you're for this packing facility or whether you're against it, the fact that you have an interest in our county is the main thing. Okay, so thank you for being involved in that process. This is Josh Bradley and his staff. I'll let him take care of all that. I met Josh through a mutual friend which came tonight, Madison, in October, and I heard about a plan that he had through the wind and things, and we met. We went out with him and his wife, and they told us what they wanted to do, but they didn't know about an area. They still had Montgomery County picked in mind. They had Dixon County. They had Stewart County and some other counties. And myself, along with Madison, kind of convinced him that this was the place for this facility. After we heard the price per job and what he was bringing into not only our county but our state. And this, to me, the reason I got behind this, guys, is, well, for two reasons. One, because we don't have an industry like this. We have an industrial park, but we don't have an industry. And to me, $60,000 a year, $50,000 a year, when I started, guys, at $4.25 an hour pumping gas, I couldn't, $60,000 a year, I mean, I'd take my shoes off for a week in the house, because I was impressed. That's reality now. You have to have $60,000 to live. That's the way we've made it into now. You know, if you're struggling, we got families right here in our county. I see them every day that are struggling. Now, the one thing that I will say that's against what I've been preaching out in the county, if the citizens of Cumberland City do not want this here, I think Mayor Vaughn told me there's 315, am I right, somewhere around in there? If you do not want this here, I won't be the guy to come in and press it on you. I'll find a place in this county to put it though, because I want these jobs. There's people that want these jobs. I had 10 phone calls today while I was with Josh, but I've had 60 phone calls this week alone. You can ask my wife, because she throws something at me every time I get on the phone. That's my responsibility I signed up for. I've had one person call and say, I don't want that facility. I don't want the smell, and I don't want the flies. That gentleman's here tonight, and I will not call him out. I said, where do you live? He told me it's on the east side of town down there, and I said, if a fly gets to your house, it's going to be called a bluebird. You're not going to see that. We're putting this in the industrial park, not out here in a residential area. Now, but I will go back and reiterate, if the folks of Cumberland City, which elected me to be your mayor, do not want it here in this town, we won't put it here. Josh and I spent a majority part of the day coming up with Plan B. And we're going to have a Plan B. But Plan A, putting an industry in an industrial park, supplying the jobs with the money, it has to come at the forefront. It has to come at the forefront. If we can't get it here because the citizens speak up and say, we don't want it here, I honor that, I understand that, and I'll fight to put it somewhere else. I really will, and I will honor what I'm saying right now. But my stance is, there's no better place to put this industry than in this industrial park. I've studied every bit of it. I've looked at his USDA stuff. I've looked at his air scrubbers. I've looked at everything to go with it. And I really firmly believe this is the place for it to be. If I do not overstep, I've talked to Mayor Vaughn. I consider him a friend of mine. I've talked to him several times about this. I will not ever even have anything other than an opinion on what Cumberland City can or should do. And every one of us in here have that in common. We all have an opinion. Mine's no greater than yours. But I hope tonight you came to get educated. I hope you don't have a set agenda. And I hope if you want it, you let your officials know. Your Cumberland City, I hope if you don't want it, you let your officials know. Because they need to know. They're only here because of you. I'm only here because of you. I'm not here for any other reason. So, make a break. Appreciate you coming. Appreciate you hanging in there with us. At this time, I'll turn it over to Josh And thank you for coming to be a part of the county.
Thank you, Mayor Beecham. Hello, guys. We want to thank all of the mayors. We have actually four sitting here tonight. We've got Mayor Vaughn, we've got Joey. Don't we have Paul? You want to see Paul coming?
He's here.
All right, well, Paul's here. Thank y'all, everybody, for coming in here to hear us out tonight. This meeting's not for us, it's for you guys. Obviously, we've done talked about this whole bunch. Ms. Tina's put it on Facebook. She's put it on Stewart County Streams on YouTube. We've done a whole bunch of talking, but we've not had the opportunity to talk to you as a community. I want to introduce tonight so you guys know that it's not just me doing this. It's not Mr. Allday doing this. Y'all see us the most. I'm going to introduce Mike Allday. He's sitting on this end. He is our public relations and marketing. Anton Reyes is our sales tax attorney, as well as he is the who built our model. He's the one who give all the inputs. He's done all the data, collected the data, along with Michelle Bosley. She is Blankenship's operating partner out of the Dixon branch, and her, as well as Andrea Doyle, which is second to me, all work out of Dixon. They are responsible for all the data, collection of data, building the models, and a lot of what you see representing in our tax framework that we can publicize to you guys, a job framework. They're responsible for putting all that together. So we have quality people backing us going into that. This is Julie Lampantano next. She is my personal assistant. She is my right hand. She pulls everything together, tells us how, why, and when and where to go. And then my beautiful wife. My beautiful wife, Lord, she's putting up with this mess, and I don't know why. So, and myself, contrary to belief, my name is not son. My name is Josh Bradley. I am the son of James and the late Jane Bradley. I just want to make sure everybody knows. I get a lot of emails lately of late son. So the nickname's not really son, it's Josh. All right, now I want to thank everyone in particular for attending. This is major for us. This is what we're about. This is what I like to do. I don't like the political side of this. I don't want to have to do that. You guys are our interest, because I see farmers sitting in here, I see community members sitting in here, I see potential employees sitting in here. This is who we want to talk to. This is who we affect the most. All right, the purpose of this meeting. Tonight, Mayor Vaughn has introduced an ordinance. And that ordinance would prohibit the processing of foods or the packing of meats. I'm not in particular, I don't know what the ordinance states, whether it's any kind of food processed or meat processed or longer, to not be able to operate in the city limits of Cumberland City. Well, so happens our great industrial park falls in the city limits of Cumberland City. This ordinance is passed on one vote and will go into effect if passed on September 7th. That brings us here tonight. This ordinance will stop good agricultural growth from happening in your city, which means, I've got Carter sitting here. Carter, what am I going to do for you?
Change your cattle to Tennessee.
I'm going to change it for the entire state, but I got one young man telling me what I'm going to do for him. And that's big. That's what we're here for, and that's the response I look for out of that. We have that meeting coming September 7th. The purpose of this is to inform you as citizens on the issues that seem to have arose that caused Mayor Vaughn to want to block this. And we need to clean that up. We need to educate you on what we're really here to do. My background, we live in Dixon County. Matter of fact, Cumberland Furnace, we're close. But my wife as well, there's a lot in here know her. She grew up here, went to school here. And I met her here. Matter of fact, I married her from here. Loved her to death. This was God's country. I grew up here myself in Leatherwood, in that community. Yes, it's a weekend deal. I've been in and out of here, I'm 43 years. All right. We own a concrete business. Amanda's a realtor. I own Mid-South Flatworks, which is a multi-state concrete outfit. Amanda owns her own business, which is Southern Concrete, which has nothing to do with agriculture. So you're asking why are we doing beef plant. Well, we also farm, and we come to the reality of what's concluded. What has pushed me to want to do this is we couldn't make a living at the farming. And I got a lot of people trying to do that, and we recognize that, and this has been a passion for a long time. And I'll get into that in a little bit. We'll get into the opportunities. There's no meat packing plants within 4 hours a year. We have one in Bean Station processing 140 to 150 head a day. There's one in South Carolina. I think the quote I just left UT was 750 head a day right now. And then we have FPL Foods in Georgia. So we have no major plants relative to the state, relative to in our region at all. Local farmers, they send their cows 8+ hours away typically. These guys are running cows up to Kansas, Iowa, up north, and even further out west, because we have nothing here. There's nothing in the state for you to carry. I mean, you can carry them over here for personal consumption. There's nothing for you to go get your retail meats produced here. What I'm going to call you consumer product. Consumer product is there's about 10% of the population has an opportunity to procure a cow, carry it to Houdat, and I'm going to use Houdat in this facet. They carry it to Houdat. Butcher and Laura's going to process that meat. They can't sell it to the general public. They can sell it to you as an individual. Not all individuals has that opportunity. And they are backed up. They can't even produce, they can't get enough done, so the waiting list is like 2 years. With that being said, again, that is for personal consumption, and it does not reach everybody sitting in this room. It only reaches a select individual who has the opportunity from another farm. Our product is a wholesale product sold out to go to retail, which hits our stores. Hopefully it hits our local stores. And that is major to this region, because that's the world food desert. And I homework for anybody who don't believe in that. I'm not going to get in the food desert because it's going to take forever. Google what is a food desert and where is it at, because you're in it. Most of Tennessee, the state of Tennessee is in the food desert. All I can tell you is it shows Tennessee is insufficient in being able to produce enough food to feed the population. So with the opportunities, guys, I don't know, y'all got me choked up. I handled Mayor Bone real well. With diversity, I handled Mark Green real well, and y'all got me a little choked up. And let me get my bearings about me so I can talk a little better. I don't know why. This is, y'all, as I told you, y'all are different. This is what we're here for. Those guys, that's easy. It's not a show, but it's easy. We'll continue on the opportunities. Just like I asked Carter a question a minute ago. There's so many big producers, and I'm going to speak up. We're talking about Stewart County a lot. In Houston County, there's more cows than there is in 4 counties surrounding it. These guys are bringing them in, they're working, they're doing what we want, they're doing what we're looking for. When we park a plant right here, little old Houston County, man, they're going to be putting some boys to work outside of us. Think about that. Carter's going to have help. Robert Parsons going to have help. And anybody else is farming cattle for that fact, because they can't raise and push and move that many cattle by themselves. So that's a great big opportunity outside of themselves. The impact we bring to these guys. And then the opportunity for the citizens. That makes an even bigger difference. I know about the TVA plant. I know what's shutting down. I know what path that's headed. You get 40 jobs. That place was a Cadillac down here. I know that. I know a bunch of people work there. It's all my friends. You're losing it. What's coming in to replace it? What do you have? What's on the board? Well, ask these mayors. What is on the board to replace the jobs at TVA? Nothing. So that puts even more effort for me to want to put this here for you. And this is for you guys. Yeah, we're building a business. Within building that business, we need community buy-in, but the community also needs our buy-in, and that's why we're here today. We want you to know you have our buy-in, and we want yours. Because we're going to bring something to you that, to be honest with you, I can go anywhere I want to. We'll play on the lake. I can go eat breakfast, I can go eat lunch, have the same conversation. 90% of the people I talk to in this county, the one thing they want, and they want more than anything, are more jobs and more better pay. So we're trying to set that up. I can't give anybody anything, just like I'm talking about Carter back there. I ain't gonna give him anything. He's gonna have to work to get it. Just like the job, you're gonna have to work. But when you come to work and do your job, you're gonna get compensated better than what you would anywhere else in the county, I believe. So, we've covered a lot. I'm trying to follow this narrative, and I'm really good about getting off of it, because I'm very passionate about what I'm talking about. My next topic was what it means for the farmers. I mean, guys, I can't cover it, I can't say it, I keep repeating it. It is substantial. It will change the agricultural industry. It don't only affect Carter. The one thing that they gotta get past is feed. Anybody tell me where the closest feed mill is in the state of Tennessee? Because I can tell you right now, farmers from here are buying it out of Kentucky. They ain't buying it out of Tennessee. I'm not knocking on no co-op down there, but they've got to be able to feed the cattle, and they can't do that at an economical price. If we start producing beef here, you're gonna see other ancillary businesses pop up, be a feed mill. Why? We gotta get that cost down in order for these people to feed these cows. We're processing fat cows, we're processing cold cows, it's a different array. But they can't fatten them cattle up efficiently, so your row crop farmers now become prevalent. Your row crop farmer now has a different option. And that different option, some of these guys say, I ain't gonna sell the feed mill, I'll make you $100 bet right now. Guaranteed money's better than waiting on a dream. They'll sell half their product at guaranteed money, and they'll wait on the rest for the high prices that come in the fall or late winter. But they get the opportunity to have a constant revenue source. Nobody's saying no to that. I don't care what group of people and how many farmers we bring in. Nobody's gonna say no to that. It's a business that offsets the cattle business. There's so many other ways of looking at this, but we bring an opportunity that's not been had in over 43 years. And 43 years ago, that was Boss Brothers Packing. They were consolidated, moved out west, and since then, that's it. There's been nothing like that to stimulate these guys. Row crop guys gonna make better money. Cattle guys gonna make better money. That's all we're out there for it. And the jobs here that we present within this plan, your community's gonna make better money. That's what this is all about. What this does mean to both Stewart-Houston County, we're here in Cumberland City, but I've got to mention both counties. 200 jobs to start. And up to, and I'm going to explain this up to, and I want everybody to hear it loud and clear. Up to 500 in the next 5 years. Our anticipation is to process 500 head of cattle a day and ramp to 1,500 head of cattle in 5 years. In order to do that, remember I said community first. We're going to have community support. We're going to have community participation. We're going to have people who want to go to work, be proud of their work. We're going to have farmers' participation. We couldn't kill 1,500 head of cattle a day if we had to in the state of Tennessee. We're going to stretch it to get to that 500. So our farmers are going to have to re-engage just the same. But equally, we're going to pay them better than what they're getting paid now. We're going to promote them growing their cattle and keeping them in the state.
Hey Josh, I got a question.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't want to interrupt it,
No.
but I know you've done your economic review and everything on that, so 1,500 head of cattle a day, 500 a week or a day. How does that, is that a realistic number? Can we get to that number?
All day long, I can get 500 more.
So how do you get that beef in here? Just for everybody's education. How do you get that much beef?
I'm gonna plead the fifth card on that. But I will tell you how we're gonna do it, but I'm not gonna mention who. and
Sure,
why.
sure.
We have partnered with several different brokers that are chomping at the bit for us to open the doors up. Between, within 100 miles of here, I get my hands on over 400,000 head. They're waiting for us. Those 400,000 head won't be here when we open up. but it's a replenishment cycle. So our brokers never stop buying. So we have partnered with several different brokers. And to build off that, I was at the University of Tennessee last Tuesday. That was Monday, right? We partnered officially with the University of Tennessee. They're working on our feasibility study. Feasibility study means they're pulling the demographics of the state and our region. They're only going out 200 miles in a radius, not 400. And we can produce in coal cattle right now 1,000 head a day per their feasibility study. And the University of Tennessee, this is a constant model they work on every day. So they know where the cattle's at, they update their numbers, and we're very appreciative. That's one thing. We're going to get into why I was in the University of Tennessee this week in a minute, but those guys doing the groundwork, they looked at fed cattle. There's not enough fed cattle to produce that many a day. We'd have to outsource, and we have those options. So it's just that everything's got its moving parts and pieces. Coal cattle was the main goal. Fat cow's a different market. Fat cattle don't sell in your stores. They go to your, typically that's a restaurant type deal. So coal cattle is what you see going in your stores, and that was our objective. So we will have to outsource out of state until our farmers, again, remember I said I've got to have buy-in, I've got to have participation. These guys know they're going to get paid for that cow, they're going to grow them out, and we're going to continue to produce our beef. So.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
It sounds like to me you're gonna need a bigger place.
No, not really.
If you're gonna plan on bringing all these beef cows in here, the way you're saying you can do, you might have to
Well,
take someplace else.
I'm going to build off that too. I have the opportunity to do about anything I need to do to make this the best facility in the United States, because I'm on the front end of that. And we're spending the money. We're spending money on that high-priced engineer that's pulled the plant together, that's give us a total volume of acreage, including our lagoon, which you know what a lagoon is, where all our waste is going, and how many we need. The bare minimum acreage for a 141,000 square foot plant is 31 acres, up to 1,500 head of cattle. We have all the paperwork on that if we need to produce it. 141,000.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is their Townhall Industrial Park large enough for holding pens?
We're not holding cattle here.
Okay, so when you're talking about bringing from 500 to 1,500 in
We bring, it'll be 10 trucks a day.
10 trucks a
10
day.
trucks in, 10 trucks out.
So
And we
you're,
bring,
so you're saying that many will be butchered, wrapped, and dusted up all in one day?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so they gotta be, you can't have them all in a building at one time, so you gotta have someplace holding them.
We have a, it's not a pen. We're not box style. We have a enclosed barn. We put our cows in and they feed through a winding chute.
Okay, so they don't need to be fed in water during that period of time?
No,
for
that's
parking?
objective. And I think our gentleman back there had a misconception about the plant. And we had covered this in the Cumberland City meeting. We are not holding cattle.
Okay.
And the reason being, I'm gonna wide open tell you, that sets us to different parameters within the USDA. That does mean we have to have water and feed on site on premise. And it quantifies how many head of cattle per bay, per square foot. We chose to not go that route and bring every head in every day. All right, I'm gonna stick to my notes. We were still on what it means Stewart County and Cumberland City. Pay scale's going to, within those 200 to 500 jobs. Pay scale's going to start at $20 an hour with benefits, 401k plan, and many jobs above $25 an hour, plus salary positions making up to $150,000 a year. We will have ancillary businesses look at this. The ancillary side of that covered a little bit, it's gonna be feed mills, veterinary stuff. I'm not into it for dog food, we're shipping that stuff out, so we don't want that. That's what some of our people here is fighting, that smell, they don't want this thing. We don't want dog food here. So, but the ancillary side of it, I think is what this community wants and what it needs. It's gonna grow Carter's farm. That's ancillary. He's gonna have more work. It's gonna grow these other gentlemen back there, I know their cows. It's gonna grow their farm. That's the ancillary side. Your hay production. I mean, you got all the pluses in the world that keeps this community the way everybody wants. I think this community struggles to grow because they don't want to lose their paradise. What other business needs to come here other than this? It keeps your community rural like you want, gives you good paying jobs like you want. I think you balance out the wants and the needs all at the same time. All right, now, these are going to be some issues I want to cover them before we get to questions from you guys. We know there's challenges with water, as well as a challenge with sewer. We knew that before we landed here to begin with. I said it on camera the other night. Whether you believe this or not, elected officials in this state do work for you. And I have learned that process myself through starting True Local Beef. And I'm going to tell you why. I sat down with the Economic Development West Tennessee, the regional team, and they looked at all the communities. They don't direct us anywhere, so don't misconstrue that. But they showed us all the communities that need this kind of industry. They look at the demographics of that community, they look at the pay scales that are existing, and they said, Stewart-Houston County is where this needs to go. This is where this needs to go. Look, they're going to pay 33% above the wages that's already in place there. You're going to provide benefits where necessarily these people don't have any benefits. There's a retirement there. And the loss of the TVA plant really sent the shot across the bow for these guys. They looked, they took you guys in consideration, they took the community in consideration, they took Houston County, Stewart County, Southwest Montgomery County, Northwest Dixon County. They took everybody in consideration when they looked at this. They worked for you. They wanted us here, they solicited it, and we knew there was not water here. Because that's one thing they do. They take everything we need, electrical, water, sewer, and they review that when they start looking to identify where we need to go. They knew this before we got here. So what that tells me, guys, is maybe you in Cumberland City can go turn on your water spigot, you're okay. But Aaron's selling you that water. And your neighbor in Tennessee Ridge might not be able to turn their spigot on. We know that. So what we hope to do is help fix that problem. Because it blows my mind how a place like this ain't got water. You got a river right there. You got another river over there. There's no way you can't have that. So anybody that watched our YouTube meeting the other day, the congressman said he is willing to help find a path to getting that done. It helps us get here, give you jobs, and it also helps the residents in the 2 different counties. That's major. That's something we need to look at. I mean, there's been an opportunity there. I don't know why that's not already been started for this community. Because obviously you guys need it whether we're here or we're not. And I think that's a major thing. I think that you guys, y'all need to stay on your public officials about trying to figure that path out. We didn't realize that a lot of those opportunities existed until we opened the door. And man, whether I'm laying here, I want to help. That's a problem that nobody should have. Absolutely should not have that problem in 2023. All right. Environmental and smell. We're going to hand out a packet. This packet's perfect. I want you to go through that packet. I have got literature direct from our engineer and architect covering how we combat the smell. Please read that. Please understand that. Mayor Brake stood up the other night and said, look guys, I know. Joey, correct me if I say anything ain't right. He said, I know, I've been there personally, I've go to these places. The plant your local beef building, if you didn't see that on there, you're not gonna be able to, you won't know it, because you can't smell it. We don't smell. There is no smell. And if there is a smell, we got a problem, we're gonna fix it. Right then, right there. So that literature combating the smell is the back of the pamphlet we're gonna hand out. We want everybody to have my butchered up version of that, of this meeting there, so you can read through it and you can understand where we're at. The last meeting in Cumberland City, we had challenges about truck traffic. Trucks, 10 trucks in, 10 trucks out, that's a day. That'd be 60 trucks a week, we work a 6-day week. You don't have a corporate man standing up here. I don't wear a suit and tie for a reason, because that ain't me. This is me right here. I want you to know me. You ain't got a corporate man and individual. My drivers don't do what they need to do, and it impacts the community. I'm going to fix that. There is no difference in it. And my suggestion is going to be on September 7th, as we vote for this, we need to call for an ordinance that there should not be any truck traffic on Main Street. And have that set and noted. That'll hit the problem up there. We'll get that done. We want to keep the community safe. There's absolutely no reason our trucks and our people should get out in the community. There's an industrial park over there for a reason. There's roads to utilize the industrial park. We're not here to be a nuisance to people. We're here to help the community. We're here to help our farmers. We absolutely do not want to be a detriment or be a problem to y'all at all. And you all, I mean, everybody has an option to voice your opinion on that. And in closing, we're going to close this up. I'm going to wrap up my stuff. We're going to open up the floor for questions. I'm going to ask Mayor Beecham to step up. Tonight was not the presentation I wanted to give to any of y'all. For some reason, y'all made my belly hurt. It's all tight. I'm all nervous, and it shouldn't be. Because this is the meeting I want. This is the message I wanted you guys to hear. This impacts every household, several counties, and it impacts every farmer in the state of Tennessee. Matter of fact, if you're going to work at this plant, you ought to be one of the proudest people in the world, because this is one of the cleanest livings you're ever going to make. This is one of the most beneficial things you're ever going to do. Why? Something happens like COVID again, and you can't get the meat you want, and it's not in the store, or it's $18 a pound for a roast, you're doing something to feed your people, right? We're producing a product that's a consumable product, that's a renewable product, that is the most sought after protein in the world. We ain't doing that here. And I'm no doomsday guy, but I'm also not a fool either. 98% of your beef products are coming from 18 hours away. Something happens and we can't get our hands on it, it's a domino effect. Tennessee needs to be self-sustainable. I want everybody to acknowledge that and think you're a part of that. Something to be proud of. Just like for these farmers, they can go back to being a little bit more proud, because they can make a little more money and make dividends last. Community, guys, y'all need a job. I'm proud to offer the job, and I'm proud to ask you for your backing, your blessing. We'll give you the opportunity to ask all the questions in the world. The nervousness is gone. I'm going to give you the best straight answer. If not, I will make sure we have something on the website or something in your email tomorrow that defines the question you ask. Because this, again, is not for us. This is for you. We can't be us without you.
One thing I missed out a while ago, thank you to the Alderman of Cumberland City, y'all showed up to get educated. Thank you to Mayor Vaughn for getting the building opened up and everything. We appreciate that. Mayor Bailey, we had a lot of long water talk the other day, and we understand your system a lot better. Sam Ian, thank you for coming. He's with Congressman Green's office. He's very tied into this. But I will say, I will repeat what I said earlier. Just like Congressman Green said, myself and Josh, if you as citizens don't want this, we're not forcing it on you. So speak up. The fact that you're here tonight is great, but speak up, because not everybody in the room is for this, not everybody in the room is against this. Speak up, okay? We're going to have a couple of questions, and the reason he asked me to, if you have a county question, I might be able to answer it, hopefully. I've been here a year now, and everything is not just drinking out of a fire hose all day. I say that all the time, but it's kind of trickled down to a water hose now. If it's a Cumberland City question, we may have to get Mayor Vaughn or one of our aldermen involved, because I'm not familiar with everything down here, and they are. So at this time, we'll take a question. If it's for me, I'll answer it. If it's for him or Mayor or whoever, we'll divert that, okay? Go right ahead, sir.
Besides jobs coming in and good paying jobs, Cumberland City would also get tax from the business, wouldn't they?
Yes, Josh, would you, just for everybody, citizens, I was at that meeting last week, and I'd like you to just touch on the revenue base that's potential there for depending on what field you have at that time.
Again, we're gonna hand out these packets. We want these to be informational. It's got a QR code. Underneath the QR code is gonna be the link to these video interviews where it describes the economic impacts in greater detail. The jobs, this is outlaid at over 550 jobs, which is a 5-year plan. So you guys need to make sure you understand it's 5-year, it ain't year one. 550 jobs. Starting at, we're gonna have one sales manager at 550, outlaid at $150,000 a year with $33,000 a year in benefits. Plant managers, 6 at $130,000 a year. HR manager, 6 at $80,000 a year. Other management, 15. Other management's trickle down. Everybody knows what other management is. We got foremen on top of foremen, line jobs. There's gonna be 15 at 80,000 a year. Supervisors, 30 at 80,000 a year. Foreman, 15 at $26 an hour. Outside help, 18, $20 an hour. Butchers, 60 at $25 an hour. Packing and cutting, 336 employees at $20 an hour. Drivers, 45 at $25 an hour. Administratives front office, $20 an hour to start. The tax outlays, I'm not going to drive through the entire deal. The tax outlays on 5-year state tax equivalents $31,318,000.
Any more questions, guys? We're glad to answer them if we can.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
You're talking about the need for the water as a intended consequence of having the plant here. Would that then require us to have to also look at building a treatment plant?
That I'm not going to comment on. I'm going to leave that to Mayor Beecham.
So, yes. Long story short, yes. But one good thing about a plant like this when they come in, it was one of my first concerns with him. I had folks say they're going to have the lagoons. These are closed cell lagoons. These are covered lagoons. And they have to treat, by the USDA standards and FDA standards, they have to treat that water to a certain standard before it ever enters into, say, a public utility. So it's not the same sewage or that would come out of your house. It is already pre-treated and then sent in. So it'll be a lot less impact. We haven't talked a lot about sewer because that reason alone, because it's a lot less impact on your sewer system than it is for, say, True Local asking, Mayor Bailey for 300,000 gallons of water a day. And another thing, guys, 330,000 gallons of water is a ton of water. Mayor Vaughn, y'all get 70 now or 80, something like that? Is that right? Am I saying
We
that?
ask for we get 70,000 a day, and we ask for 130, and we've been told we can't get the water.
So that in itself is the reason why we enlisted the help of folks like Congressman Green to try to address, he said it a while ago, whether he lands here or not, we still got a problem to address with water here, you know, regardless.
I was thinking more along the lines of, in addition to this, then that would also, unintentional, but it would also create more jobs along with this.
Absolutely.
So that would also be.
I think Mayor Bailey said, we had lunch the other day, and I think he told me they would have to actually hire 1 or 2 employees if they could. Not that they can, because they can't, but if they could supply that water, they would have to hire employees there to keep that plant running 24 hours a day or whatever, so. Plus or minus, that's just a fact.
So just on that water, like I said, a lot of these people wasn't here, and I just want trying to make sure all the citizens of Cumberland City is educated on this as possible. So when I was down there the other day, Congressman Mark Green talked about the water infrastructure and the sewer infrastructure. He talked about the USDA grants, and I'm pretty sure that's all on the video that Ms. Ramsey actually had video, but talked about all the grants that he's already starting on, along with your council, along your grant writers that y'all had there already starting on this, to get some kind of infrastructure in place for the water and possibly even sewer if needed. That would help, not only help obviously Cumberland City and for what your needs are, but also he talked even over $100 million of grant monies already out there that he was going to continue to start. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the exact words that he said, to be able to get started on these grants. And him and who y'all had at Washington or somewhere, I believe.
We have ourselves a firm in Washington that are full-time lobbyists and grant writers that work on our grants for the USDA side of what we're doing. And we as well reached out and asked those guys, they're in the fight, Mark Green as well, you're in the fight, get the literature on grants and assist the community and get those done. Writing a grant is not as simple. You can't go to your local attorney and have them draw this up and apply for a grant. You have to meet certain standards, and that grant has to be written stellar for your community, as well as us as a business. Our grant, man, there's so much stuff. They deep dive you to the point where, I pull my hair out. If it's not for these guys right here, I wouldn't be doing this grant. But it has to be written specific for you to be competitively awarded. You have to stand out. You have to illustrate where your failures are, where your weakness is, how many residents is going to lack of water. And we offer that service as well, whether we get here or we don't, because it's a tough process, but it's set out there.
Yes.
I would like to know who the reasoning behind this being an issue anyway. Like, you know, in a family, you're going to tell the good side and you're going to tell the bad side. So what I've heard tonight, I hear it seems like there's a lot of good stuff. So I would like for one of the aldermen, maybe, or Mayor Vaughn, who voted against this, I would like to know why. Is there a reason that I should be looking to say, no, we don't want this? And if you know that reason, then I would like to hear that.
Yep.
Anybody? You know why?
I'll speak up and say why.
I'll speak up too.
Okay.
Yes, I seconded the vote. We had the vote meeting last month, seconded the vote. I wasn't completely sure about this. I was skeptical about it, so I voted to ban the ordinance. But since I've been here, I've been very informed about it. That was my reason, just so the smell. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with this, so that was my reason for that.
You still vote no?
Good question. I think I'm leaning more towards voting yes to allow them in. Seems like very good job opportunity, a lot of money for it. I like to hear from the people in my district what they think. I had a couple people come talk to me, but not everyone has come talk to me yet, but I'd like to hear them out.
We got something. This was something. Historically, a lot of y'all people know, and I've been told from talking to other people when they were out, people in this county have left. As far as Granite City, no home to work. And lots and lots and lots. There's a bar, from where I understand, named Dover in Granite City, Illinois. Now, people have left the county, you know, and I had to work in Montgomery County for 13 years at training. I drove back and forth for 13 years. I hated that drive. I hate 149. I was driving up and down that road more than anything. But this is an opportunity for people to come to our county and work from that county. You turn the tide, we're bringing people in here, you're going to have the back tax base where people stay here and they spend their money here. Instead of, oh, I work in Clarksville, I'm going to go shop at Walmart afterwards. Well, I shop at Pig. You know, I'll shop at Claire's. There are a lot of us that don't want to drive to Clarksville. But we have all that tax base and bring it home, bring it local. And this man seems like he's got his heart in that, local. And that's what I saw. When I thought slaughterhouse or packing plant, I thought corporate. I thought Tyson Foods. This is not Tyson Foods. This is a person that's got his heart in it, come from here, and wants to bring agriculture, what our county is known for, in Houston County. This whole region is known for that. And we all come back from here, and the people that move to Granite City, they come all the way back here on the weekends to be home. Because there was no money here in the 50s. Miss Anderson, Mr. Keel, I know lots of them on my mail route, they all come back. They want to be home. Let's not let ego get involved with a good decision for this county. That's what I've got to say.
I'm gonna capitalize, because again, butcher meeting, you guys have me wound up, I don't know why, I apologize again. I'm gonna build off a comment, we're not Tyson, we are not Tyson, we're not Cargill, we're not JBS, we're not related to any of those guys. We're an independent, what you see is what you get, firm that's popping up all over the country across the Mississippi. It's a thing, it's coming, whether we come here or not, and you don't want it today, somebody else can put it somewhere else tomorrow. We're not competitive. We told everybody that we're not competitive. Can't be. Don't want to be. Y'all don't want that, I don't want that. We're only here to fill a gap. And that gap is supply chain disruptions and kind of maybe bring down some prices so you can afford to go buy a steak when you want that steak.
Well, I have a question and a comment. What other things are y'all, can y'all do that's gonna help in the community? Because I was born and raised here. And honestly, I hate walking around here, drive around or look around here now, and this county is dying. There's falling down buildings, there's no businesses here, there's nothing. And no families want to be here because there's nothing here, there's no job, there's nothing for their kids. So what else can y'all help with besides just the plant coming here and doing all that sort of education, to get the community back to
True local beef itself.
repair, growing?
How we tend to impact the community. We done a little rodeo down there, about 2 months ago. Those kind of things we want to do, we want to bring the community together and help. We gave a young man who, they looked to us and said, we need sponsorship, I need it so I can get chutes and gates and pounds. So we took a little bit of the business and we made him a little money that night. Money we give him, that promoted his business, come in here and do a show for the community. Things like that we're big on. The other thing that we're bigger on, and I didn't do this, and Bo's gonna give me, I did not say this. We are very adamant about education. All right? You're in a rural community. All rural communities generally have an ag program in high school. High school is your primary education, right? Your ag departments aren't teaching what you need to learn to walk out and have a job because you don't have a job in the state to do. And if you do, it's overrun because there's nothing else for you to go do. There's not enough agricultural jobs out there, veterinary wise. And these guys, they make their own animals. You learn that coming out, they're gonna pay you to come work for them. Meat grading, meat science, grazing management, feed science. We want to promote that. We're extremely high on secondary education. And from the revenue side. And Boo, I don't know what that opens up. Hey, you guys are the ones that do that.
It's a large amount. Just the property taxes alone, Cumberland City can see, they can double their property taxes. Cumberland City will double their property taxes almost.
What's that?
Cumberland City will almost double their property tax that they take in with that plant going in, if that plant makes it here. That's not opinionated, that's facts. That's a $90 to $100 million facility landed on Cumberland City soil that will pay Cumberland City taxes as well as Stewart County taxes.
Well, it's all fine and well. I'm be coming in here, you can bring humpback camels in here if you want to. I don't care. My issue is the safety issue. We got these Timpson trucks for years, always use 149 or the other road down the main road. So here recently, they started coming up right up Main Street. We have an industrial road for them to use. What's to say this beef cattle is going to do the same thing? For years, we had a road right up here on Main Street that stayed tore up for 20 years. Now we finally get it fixed, and here comes all these tractor trailers right up down Main Street when they got 149, the industrial road to use, but they have to use Main Street. Why?
But they're not the cattle company that's coming in.
Well, he said earlier he wanted to pass an order in the city for no semis on land.
But that's not up to me. I'm not a resident of Cumberland City.
And I'm not either, and I can't respond to that, but I can tell you I'm very business-minded. I don't know about a lot, but when you're doubling your tax base, first off, thank you for your service back there in the back. That police officer, you're gonna triple his staff. You're gonna quadruple his staff. You know why? Because you have the money to pay for them now. Why not have 4 of them? It won't take very many. I know a lot of truck drivers. It won't take you but 1 or 2 to give them a $376 ticket. They won't be pulling up Main Street no more.
All the
Right.
I'm addressing my question to Mayor Vaughn. Mayor Vaughn.
Quiet, respectful.
Hello. Mayor Vaughn, I'm addressing this question to you. Thank you, Alex, for your explanation of why you voted no. Basically, what I heard was you didn't know much about it, which is, to me, not a good time to vote when you don't know what you know much about it. But you broke the tie. Do you know something we don't know that we need to know that made you vote no?
I had to break a tie. I voted accordingly. And if that happens again, I'll probably have to break another tie.
Well, I mean, why did you vote no instead of yes? You broke the tie with a yes vote.
I don't think we need this on the backs of 315 people here in Cumberland City.
I don't understand that. On the
That's
back.
what I said to you. If you don't
We're not gonna
understand,
have that
I'm
amount
sorry.
eventually. They're all leaving.
There-
There's no jobs.
So that's your answer?
This is not tonight to get on Whitey. There's a man that's telling you.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
Again, this is not
That's why
tonight
we're
to get
here.
on Whitey.
So everybody can know.
I'm sorry.
Gary, if there's a
Again.
reason that we need to vote no, we need to know. So why did you vote no?
It looks like Cumberland City might need to move the city limits to take in some of these people that's here tonight so they can vote on this. And it's a city issue, and I'm sorry that you don't agree with what I said.
No, it's a county. It's a
I said,
community issue.
again, I'm sorry, you live in Cumberland City, and I'm sorry that you don't agree with what I
200 to
said.
400 jobs are not going to come out of 300 people in Cumberland City. This is a community.
Again, I'm
fund.
sorry you don't agree with me.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
I just wanted to know why,
I just said, I'm sorry that you don't agree with me.
but I see that you did.
Thank you for your question, Mr. Taylor, and thank you for the answer, Mr. Vaughn. We'll keep this towards either myself or Josh if we could. We're glad everybody showed up, and hopefully y'all can get the questions answered that you want as taxpayers in Cumberland City. But he has enough hurdles to cross. This company has enough hurdles to cross. This is a hurdle in Cumberland City. And if you, again, I'll reiterate, if you do not want it here, it will not be put here. If you want it here, you let these officials know you want it here, it will be put here. So that's at the end of the day. But he has enough hurdles to cross. If this ordinance is not rescinded at the next meeting, if it's rescinded, it's a dead deal in Cumberland City, right? Because you elected these officials, they vote the best they can with what they got, okay? So that's the way it is. But if it is not rescinded, let's go that route. Let's say it's voted on and it's right the opposite the next time. This still has to get through a ship board and an industrial board. We can't leave this meeting tonight and think that this is over. There's still tons of hurdles, guys. I'm transparent as I can be. Most of you in here that know me know I'm transparent to a flaw. So this is not over. It's still got a long ways to go. But again, if you don't want it here, we won't put it here. I'm gonna try my darndest to put it in this county. I know that. I think it's a good thing.
I have a question.
Yes,
After the city meeting here, it said something about maybe schooling for some of your employees. Are y'all gonna like?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
anybody that like,
Absolutely.
John, the high school that have school,
High
don't know
school.
nothing. Are you gonna send them to education for that?
Yes,
for free?
we have to train our employees. Anybody in here know how to process video president? Joey Break, you don't count. You see what I just did, right? We know this. We know this whether we're here, or in Columbia, or we're in Knoxville. We know this. We gotta educate our people. We're gonna educate our people coming in the doors, and we're gonna try to help. We'll work with the local school boards. That's what Michelle does best. She opens those doors, we'll work with the local school boards. Look, I got a kid right now. We wanted him to go, he had an opportunity. Pushing him, let's go to UT, son. He said, no, sir, I'm not gonna do that. He was sitting in Mayfield, Kentucky, working, hell, he worked 24 hours yesterday, straight. He said in Mayfield, Kentucky, he said, I'm gonna get my education on the job. He wants to be a procurement specialist. Procurement specialist means he wants to buy cattle. Buying cattle for us is a little bit different, because 6 months we may buy cows and shift to beef on dairy, from beef on dairy to fat cattle. There's an art to that. I want to educate my people. So yes, ma'am, this is all about that, and when you're coming in the door, you're not gonna know what all that stuff is. We've not had an industry here to show you.
I was just making sure it wouldn't be people, you know, there's not a lot of people around here that are educated, and I wanted to go, if this was to pass, I don't live in city limits, but I do live right here on Buckeye, so I'm in Cumberland City, I'm just not in city limits. But, you know, I don't want to be somebody that has to have experience come in here and do this, because who you gonna get? Well, surround other people, not Houston County and Stewart County, you know, nobody knows how to do it.
From a county standpoint, I can tell you that, I've just seen this sign when I was looking up there. Did I say it right? Senior Saul, she's gonna don't to me. Advanced Master Beef Producer with UT Extension. I got that email this week. They said, can you please give me the contact for the company that's wanting to come in so we can get with him. It was Mr. Joe Griffey, if you guys know him with the county. He's over that extension, and he said, we want to get with him ASAP to ensure that both of us have everything we need to know about education. So, I mean, that's just from the county side of it, that's not from his side of it, but I did pass that information along. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, thank you for being here. So I've heard kill floor, packaging plant, processing plant, all three things are different.
They're all the same thing.
A packaging plant and a processing plant are the same thing, the outputs are the same? Okay, so can you walk through what is the input you receive and what is the output?
Okay, we take in, depending on the day, we take in 505.
Okay, what do you mean depending on the day? Like, what do you mean? Like the number of things?
We want to start at 500 cattle,
Okay.
500 head a day. That may vary on the first waning month.
Sure.
But we're gonna take in 500 head of cattle a day. And they're gonna start at the line, well, they are, obviously we gotta use the word, they are killed. They're cleaned, they're processed, and they're hung for 14 days. So our first packaging process don't start until the first 14 days is over, and after that, it'll be a regeneratory thing, right? That cycle will to pick up and go, first 14 days too. So we hung, once they're hung, they go to packaging. The packaging, they're broke down, they're stored, and trucks are coming together. So, I mean, that's pretty much the primary process of that.
So the output,
The output's finished product.
that ends in a store,
That is
a packaged product? I think that's where people are confused. That's why I want you to be very clear.
That depends on our distribution lines. We don't have a whole lot of control over that.
Okay,
We're
so,
trying to have that control.
but when you say you hope you get it in our local stores, that won't happen if you don't actually have a product that's leaving that can go to a store, right?
It depends on your local store. If your local store wants to partner with us, we'll sell it to them all day long. And a lot cheaper than they're gonna pay somebody like Cisco to come get it.
Okay, so your input's the animal, your output you don't know yet.
I know our output, I'll tell you, our output is gonna be primal and burger. Primal cuts are full cuts. They're full roast, they're full loins, and burger. And the burger's gonna be more. Our output's finished product. But you'll have to have at your local store, you need to butcher yourself at that point. That's where the distribution chain gets a little quirky. Our goal, hence the name True Local Beef, our goal is to buy local beef and make sure it hits local stores. That is it. The thing about little old True Local is we can't reinvent the distribution chain, right? We have to have a grocer start pushing for this. If they want our product, we're gonna have, somebody's gonna pop up, right? That's not a promise, that's not a guarantee. I can't make that guarantee.
Yeah, I'm not
But
asking
the
you to
goal
guarantee, I
is-
just want to be very clear about what the input and
Yes,
output
the
is.
goal is, and until we have a product solicit, until they know that this ground's being broke, we're talking just as much as the wind blowing outside. We don't have anything carrying it, right? So when things start getting serious, they see the ground being broke, then they have a date, we can close in, I can tell you where that animal's gonna go. That's what, if I tell you something today, you're gonna call me a liar tomorrow, so I choose not to say anything about it
I
until I know.
think she's just asking though, it's processed and ready for a store at the
Right, I
end
just
of
want to be
their.
very clear on what the input is and the
Yeah,
output.
and not necessarily, it may not be a local, you hope it's local,
The
Yeah.
brain is local.
but it may, it's ready to go
It's ready to
to
go.
a store.
Yeah.
I have a question on that, and I think I heard right, you said, you would have like halves, wholes, and ground beef?
Yes.
Okay, so with your ground beef, will that just be pure beef, or is that gonna, do you have to put additives and all that like they do at the grocery store?
No,
So it will be
it'll be
100%?
100% pure beef with fat, we'll grade it with our own fat.
Okay,
And right now, the way it looks, we gotta bring in fat to do that.
okay. And on the ground beef, can local stores partner with you to?
Absolutely, that's the goal.
Okay, so then you'll be packaging it, or you would just sell it wholesale?
We would sell it wholesale, correct, they're gonna buy in bulk, and it's the
Okay.
only way we can do this, because what we have is primal cuts. Primal cuts are full loins, full roast, and then obviously the burger. So it'll be all bulk, and it'll be bulk for distribution. Now, if we get enough partners that want to come pick their product up, let's see, we can take that further and break our own product down. That makes us more lucrative to the client, and it makes us more money too. So. we
That
know
would be
that's how
something in the
bargain is.
future probably, okay.
Mayor, I just want to comment on what the lady asked, if you don't mind. I'm from Houston County, but I've lived here my whole life too, so. What he's saying, there's the biggest slaughterhouse in Tennessee is in Bean Station, Tennessee. And he's a good friend of mine, and all he kills is cows, that's it. But he kills the older cows that are maybe a little thinner, a little older or something, but it goes to nothing but hamburger. He sells the hamburger to McDonald's, he sells them to Crystal, places like that. Your better end cuts, like, I'm gonna use Cherry Meat Company out of Chapel Hill, Tennessee. They got a slaughterhouse. They kill nothing but, I mean, just the best cattle you can get. They raise their own cattle, they raise them up to 1,400 pounds. They sell the steaks to the high-end restaurants in Nashville and Franklin. If you go to a Sounds game, or if you go to a Titan game, you're gonna eat their ground beef, because they sell their beef to them. They freeze this, they make this burger in 10-pound sticks, and they freeze it, and then they slice it into like 4 to 6 ounce patties, and they sell it direct to the stadium there in Nashville or Sounds. And there's a lot of, I'm a hide buyer. I've been to every slaughterhouse in the state of Tennessee, I promise you. And, some of your mom and pops, I call them slaughterhouses that kill 5 or 6 a week or 8. They don't have the state of the art stuff. They're not USDA or anything. In a slaughterhouse that he's talking about, when that animal comes in there to kill him, that USDA inspector's gonna be standing right there watching. I mean, there are laws. These animals are protected by USDA. If you don't do it right, they'll shut you down. I mean, they will. They'll shut you down and make you get it right. But there's a lot to the meat business. I agree, but now he's in a totally different category. I mean, the biggest slaughterhouse around here is Brown Packing in Carolina. They kill 750 a day. He told the truth. I mean, I know him well, but that's a lot of animals.
Thank you, Joe. Can I give you a little more clarity on that? Or are we still missing?
No, I understood what you said.
Okay.
And I get that. I grew up on a cattle farm. I get that whole part of it. I just was making sure I understood your input and output.
These animals will not be killed outside. I promise you. They will make them come down this alley and come to the kill chute.
I've been to big lots. I've been everywhere. I get that. I get all that part. I just wanted to understand. What
And maybe too, I should have got you, we're not custom cut. There's no custom cut to
Right,
this.
yeah.
That's a different entity, right? Custom cut. For everybody in here, Butch and Laura's dear to me. I have animals processed at Tennessee Ridge, okay? So I'm not picking on Butch and Laura. Don't ever, if anything you hear, don't misconstrue that. They are custom cut. They are for you guys to be on your own cows. And we're not actually taking their business. Because the same 10% that's processing with them are going to continue to process with them. We're processing for you that aren't doing that.
I got a couple questions. We possibly for both of them. Where's the hides going after y'all do your stuff?
I think Mr. Brink wants them all. No, as far as the hides goes, if Joey wants them, he's more than welcome to them. More than likely, if he don't, they're going up to Kentucky.
So this probably for both. So then some other outfit will come in here, maybe buy your hides and start a tannery. Maybe down here somewhere in the industrial park, and then we'll have to deal with that smell also.
I'm gonna take that from you. I'm gonna seal there's absolutely the parameters of that tannery. You think we're having a fight to get us down here to process
I can't
it?
hear you.
If you think we have a fight to get us down here to process these cows, you ain't never seen what it's gonna be when the tannery goes to open up. The
Well,
state
that's why-
probably
that's
won't
why
allow,
I
the
asked.
state won't allow that at this point, or there'd still be a tannery in
There
town.
will never be a tannery here. Never.
So the tannery is not an ancillary side of this business, or I'd have brought that up in the ancillary product. There are still tanneries left, but not many.
Ma'am?
I lost it, whatever I was going to say. Oh, I do know, sorry, I'm back to it. If there is another business that follows the same business model or same industry model as you, where would it be? Like if I wanted to see it, where would I go?
The East Station, the closest after that, and that's Brown over South Carolina. Or FPL Foods in Georgia. FPL Foods is a great one. Google FPL Foods. Their mission statement, their story. When I started this business, I cared it to my people, I told them what it was. I never looked those guys up, didn't know they existed. Had no clue, didn't know whether there was even a place on the map with their name on it. You go read Francois' story was my story. I didn't take it from him, he didn't take it from me, and that man is doing his thing at 1,500 head a day. Go down there and see it. And he should let you in, I don't know if they're doing tours or not. I would go down there and look at that.
There's a smaller facility in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. It's probably a state of ours area is Hamptons. They're pretty good.
Hamptons is good.
I'll say this again as a county, guys, because we're getting ready to wrap up. I want to reiterate, I'm going to hit this home again. You've heard it 5 times already. If you don't want it here, we won't put it here. You guys put me here, and I won't do it. When I went after this, I thought it was a great idea. I thought we would have to worry about folks from Washington coming here that wanted to fight the killing of animals, the cattle. Okay, that's what I thought our fight was. That's not our fight. But I'm telling you again, and I'll stand by this, I'm not pushing it if you don't want it. I think it's a great thing for our county. I think it's a great thing for our youth, more importantly. He said farmers this and farmers that. I got a kid that graduated college and a girl soon too. I want them back in our county working. I want them back in our county working for the wages they can make in Montgomery County or Henry County or Nashville. That's what my hope and my dream is for my kids, your kids, any other kids that wants to come through this. If you wonder why I'm pushing, that's the reason I'm pushing. I'm never going to step in on Mayor Vaughn or that alderman. I don't have anything with them other than a friendship and an opinion. I consider every one of them a friend. I talk to most of them just about once or twice a week. I won't do that. If you don't want it, we won't put it here. But I will say this. We're going to try like heck to put it somewhere in Stewart County. Stewart County deserves something like this. You deserve something like this. I'm not talking, they're going to make money off of it. I want to tell you, these USDA grants, I'm not a huge federal government overreach guy, right? I don't like when the federal government gives you all the money. They like to give you $100 and tell you how you need to spend 99 of it. I don't like that. But dadgummit, I've seen with this USDA, they're giving it to somebody. They're giving your tax dollar to somebody. Why not let it be back to us? Why not let it bring back industry back into the county for a change? That's my only stance. Again, I applaud each and every one of you for showing up. Elected officials, non-elected officials, doesn't matter. Thank you guys for coming. And yes, ma'am.
I do live here in the city limits, and I want to say that I was kind of misinformed on this information. And I agree, it would be a great growth for this town and this community to have this project up here. And I live right here in town.
Thank you. And again, I did take the other side of that. You know, I did take the gentleman that called me this week and said, I absolutely don't want it. So I understand there's two sides to this. There has to be two sides to it, right? But again, I think that,
I'm gonna, Boo's got to where I'm at on that. Without the problems, without the resistance, we're not people. Not everybody's for everything. Not everybody likes my pink shirt. Not everybody likes your bald head. They want the hair. Without that input and without, you accomplish nothing if you don't work as a team. Whether you think you are sitting right here right now or not, you're working as a team. Teams don't always get along, but somehow they figure out how to make it to a finish line. And I'm going to second what Boo said. If you guys don't want us, look, we're still going to fight. I am your neighbor. I do live here to a capacity. I stay here more than I do my own house, right? So I'm in your community all the time. I'm driving through your community more than I'm on my own. We want to help you whether we're here or not. We don't want to be a hindrance. We don't want to be a detriment. We don't want to be an eyesore. And if you guys don't feel that we benefit you in the way we think we should, it's not good for none of us because we're not going to work together as a team.
is there any final questions that anybody want as a group? If not, Josh has volunteered to stay here till midnight.